Just want to pick up on a couple of the headlines from that video. That was a deeply personal, emotional video from a mother, from a princess.
It happened just a minute ago. A single moment that rippled through the United Kingdom, through Europe, and then out into the world, faster than anyone could process. At exactly this hour, the palace broke its silence. An emergency statement, brief, trembling, and heavy with meaning. A message that confirmed what millions had feared, yet hoped would never be true. Princess Catherine, the woman the world knows for her grace, her warmth, and her quiet strength, is facing a medical challenge far more serious than anyone imagined. And as this urgent message spread across televisions and phones, it left behind a breathless pause, a moment suspended between fear and hope. Tonight, we go behind that silence. Behind the palace doors. Behind the calm face Catherine has shown the world for years. This is the story of a woman fighting not only for her health, but for her family, her future, and the nation that has come to love her. 1. The statement that shook the nation. The emergency palace statement was barely 2 sentences long, yet the impact was enormous. It did not contain blame, nor panic, nor dramatic language. Instead, it carried the kind of simplicity that only appears when a situation is too heavy for elaborate words. Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales, is currently under urgent medical supervision. The situation is being closely monitored. That was it. But people felt what was hidden between the lines. The pace of the words, the tone, the suddenness. It revealed something deeper, a seriousness that couldn't be softened. Outside Buckingham Palace, a small crowd formed within minutes. Strangers stood together, quietly reading the notification again and again, trying to understand what it truly meant. Some whispered prayers. Others held their children a little closer. A royal correspondent described it perfectly. The country is holding its breath, because this wasn't just a health update. It was a moment of truth, fragile, uncertain, and real. 2. A shadow behind the smiles. For years, Catherine has been the quiet anchor of the royal family. Every public appearance was filled with grace. Every smile seemed effortless. Every gesture reflected someone who carried responsibility with elegance. But behind those smiles, a shadow was growing. Weeks earlier, faint changes had begun to show, tiny, almost unnoticeable signs that only those closest to her could recognize. A slower step, a softer voice, a hand resting on a nearby surface for just a second longer than usual. Prince William noticed first, not as a future king, but as a husband. He asked. She reassured. She said it was nothing more than exhaustion, the result of balancing public duties, motherhood, and the quiet storms of royal life. But slowly, the truth began unfolding in private. Appointments were scheduled. Specialists were contacted. The palace increased security around the family's private wing, a sign insiders watched closely. Catherine continued to smile in public, but the light in her eyes just slightly flickered. 3. The hidden battle. Behind the palace walls, the medical journey began quietly. Her doctors worked tirelessly, conducting tests that stretched over days. There were moments of clarity, moments where Catherine felt strong and hopeful. But there were also nights where the pain sharpened and silence filled the hallways like a ghost. The children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, sensed something was different. George grew quieter, watching his parents with careful eyes. Charlotte stayed close to her mother, even during small routines like brushing her hair or reading at night. And little Louis asked questions only a child could ask. Is Mummy going to be okay? Catherine always answered gently. Yes, darling. Mummy is strong. But strength does not always mean certainty. The battle she now faced was internal, invisible to the cameras, hidden from the public, known only to a small circle of doctors, advisors, and family. It was a battle that demanded dignity, a battle that required silence, until today. 4. William's silent storm. Prince William has always been known for composure, but this time, his emotions broke through the armor of royal duty. He canceled multiple engagements quietly, without explanation. He stayed closer to home, shuffling meetings to ensure he could be by Catherine's side. Advisors noticed a strain in his voice, firmer, shorter, more urgent. He didn't ask for sympathy. He didn't ask for privacy. He simply asked for time. Late at night, when the palace halls were quiet, he would sit beside Catherine, holding her hand, speaking softly about everything and nothing at all. He wasn't speaking as the Prince of Wales. He was speaking as a husband who feared the unthinkable. Insiders say he often watches Catherine when she sleeps, as if making sure she's still breathing peacefully. It is the same quiet fear his father once carried when Diana was hospitalized, a fear no royal guard or tradition can protect against. This is William's silent storm, the battle he cannot command, cannot negotiate, cannot predict. 5. A nation in prayer. When the emergency statement was released, social media went still for a moment. It exploded, not with drama, not with gossip, but with prayers. Messages came from across the Commonwealth, from mothers, fathers, students, nurses, elderly couples, people who had never met Catherine but felt a connection to her gentle presence. Hundreds gathered outside Kensington Palace, setting down flowers, candles, handwritten notes. A little girl brought a drawing of Catherine wearing a crown and a cape with the words, "Supermom," "Super Princess." Even global leaders released quiet messages of support, respectful, heartfelt, and sincere. It was a reminder that Catherine is more than her title. She is a symbol of dignity in a world that often forgets what dignity looks like. 6. The moment hope appeared. In the middle of the uncertainty, something unexpected happened. A senior medical advisor stepped forward to clarify that while Catherine's condition is serious, critically serious, there is hope. Real, tangible hope. Her body is responding. Her spirit is strong. Her medical team is determined and optimistic. The palace did not sugarcoat the situation, but for the first time tonight, the words carried warmth. She is fighting, and she is surrounded by love. Those words turned into a lifeline for millions. A soft candlelight flickering in the storm. Because hope, even the smallest kind, is enough to keep a nation steady. 7. The children's world. Inside the Wales household, something beautiful unfolded. Despite their young ages, Catherine's children became her strength. Charlotte often sits beside her mother, reading fairy tales aloud in her steady, confident voice. George helps with small tasks, fetching blankets, warm tea, or simply sitting near her so she doesn't feel alone. Louis, with his bright innocence, makes her laugh when she needs it most. Their world has changed, but their love hasn't. In fact, it has deepened, quietly, naturally, beautifully. This chapter of Catherine's life is not only about illness. It is about motherhood. It is about family. It is about a bond stronger than royal titles, stronger than tradition, stronger than fear. A bond that gives her strength every single morning. 8. The palace behind closed doors. While the public prays, the palace works. Meetings stretch late into the night. Security teams reorganize schedules. Medical advisors coordinate with specialists across continents. Everyone moves with purpose, not out of panic, but out of commitment. Queen Camilla, despite public perception, has stepped forward as a steadying presence. King Charles receives updates regularly, his concern unmistakable despite his own health challenges. Inside the palace, staff whisper in hallways, their voices tinged with worry. Many have served Catherine for years, and to them, she is not Her Royal Highness. She is simply, Ma'am, who always remembers our birthdays. Ma'am, who always asks about our families. Ma'am, who never forgets a single name. This is why the palace feels heavier today, because this isn't just a royal crisis, it is a human one. 9. The world looks to the future. The royal family stands at a crossroads. If Catherine's condition worsens, the entire structure of royal duty will shift. Public appearances will decrease. William's role will intensify. The children will face pressures no child should face. But there is another possibility, that Catherine recovers stronger, more resilient, more cherished than ever before. The question of the future hangs quietly, breathlessly, and yet for the first time in many days, people allow themselves to imagine it. A glimpse of Catherine stepping outside again. A glimpse of her waving to the public. A glimpse of her smiling, even if the smile is slower, gentler, a little more fragile. Because even fragile smiles can carry extraordinary strength. 10. The fight continues. And now, after the emergency statement, after the global reaction, after the quiet tears and loud prayers, one truth remains. Catherine is still fighting. Her doctors have not given up. Her family has not given up. Her nation has not given up. Tonight, she rests in a room filled with soft light, surrounded by the people who love her most. Her hand in William's. Her children's drawings placed beside her. Her medical team stationed just outside the door. This is not the end of Catherine's story. This is the chapter where heroes are made quietly, without applause, without cameras, without crowns. A chapter written in courage and in hope, a prayer for tomorrow. As the world watches, 1 minute has changed everything. But 1 minute can also change it again. Tonight, we stand with Princess Catherine, not because she is a royal, but because she is human, a mother, a wife, a woman with extraordinary grace in a moment of extraordinary difficulty. We wait, we hope, and above all, we believe. Because sometimes the greatest strength comes from the quietest hearts. And Catherine, even now, continues to inspire the world not with speeches or appearances, but with her courage. May tomorrow bring better news. May healing come swiftly, and may the light around her never dim. This is not the end. This is the fight, and she is not fighting alone.